the company was tiny. It really was, and it grew slowly. And we started building a service capability to support the new airplanes or the used airplanes that he sold. While he was here and alive with us, the company sold 450 Learjets. 450 Learjets. We were a Lear distributor, but a lot of those were used too. And Donald didn't sell every single one of them, but almost all of them. So it was really sales driven. And he passed away in 1981 at the age of 58, very young. I tell people that he was probably 75 or 80 years in the working time that he spent. He was a terribly hard worker, long hours, very diligent, and again, taking care of people. And so when he died, and at the same time, the manufacturers were, some of them switching to direct sales, so there weren't dealerships in some cases. So we switched to service. We made a conscientious decision to do that. That was in the early 80s. And we started AvPac, we started the satellite avionics shops, we started the free loaner program, and the service business just started mushrooming. And it was the right decision at the right time, and I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, no, I think what you're describing is small business that innovates, that has to, sometimes because of its very survival, which you guys had back then too.
Yeah.
Talk about being small, it was vulnerable, and there were times when you thought you were going to lose the business.
Absolutely.
For sure. I mean, it wasn't, so I think also that innovative spirit is what you give us, for the future. Doesn't matter the size of the business, right? You got to keep changing and innovating to suit customers and your team.
And we've been very creative. I've talked about some of those new businesses, but we were one of the leaders in applying computers in our industry. So yeah, we've stayed on the leading edge of what's coming too.
Now, if you were to go back though, let's go back all the way to 1982, 83. I mean, you were making a lot of decisions really quickly, of course, with great-grandfather Donald passing away and you jumping in, and we're changing the business itself. I mean, if you could go back to that time, two questions, I guess. What would you tell yourself back then? And B, would you have changed anything?
I don't think I would have changed anything. And the biggest problem is I lost my father, somebody I talked to on a regular basis. And the one thing I did that I give a huge amount of credit to the success of Duncan Aviation was starting an outside board of directors. And I got the idea from someone else, but 5 or 6 people that would sit down with us once a quarter and tell us really what things, where they were going, what it was like, and somebody to call for advice.
Mm-hmm.
You were there early part of that.
Mm-hmm. No, learned a lot. And, you had people that also held you accountable. I always say, an outside board for a family company, one of those things they do is they hold us to our word, right? And they did. Every 90 days you were going to have to sit with them again and revisit them. And we still do that to this day. Our board is really strong. We value, the different experiences, the different input, their advice, of course.
And these boys sit in on the board meetings now.
Well, they've joined the board now too. So I'm really proud that they're a voice in that future. And it's been really, really something different for us as a family company to have that.
There's just been a lot of things like that made a big difference in that.
I would say also, one other major milestone, Dad alluded to it earlier, was the advent of our avionics satellite shops.
Yeah.
Before that, it was a Lincoln-based company, quite small, and our reach was limited. And, you had the notion that, service was needed in avionics around the country. And, we could do this in a small way and with our bench shops back in Lincoln, our depot level shops, do a great level. The loaners, sort of
free loaners, that was another major thing.
Innovative way to reach the customer and to serve the customer. And so, I think, that was unique and got us out into now what we consider the 30 busiest business airports in the United States today. It's a huge part of our business.
Oh, I love to tell the story how that started. This was in the early 80s again when things were bad. My dad was gone, and I went to the department store with my wife here in Lincoln, I'm sitting there and the manager comes over. We start talking. I'm telling him how good the department looks. Oh, he says, we're not part of the department.
The shoe
store."
department, right? The
Shoe department.
Yeah.
She was shopping for shoes. And he says, oh, we're not part of the department store. We're experts at selling shoes. I came back and started the satellite avionics shop. So again, here's not an original idea, but a borrowed idea.
Your twist.
That nobody else in the industry had done.
Yeah, your twist on that idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely, an innovative twist.
Yeah.
So long ago.
Do you guys remember some of the original locations?
The
Houston.
first one was Houston.
Houston.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is before Todd, by the way. I shouldn't even
Wow.
be chiming in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Houston. All right. Cool.
We're talking about some of the milestones at Duncan Aviation, and that goes way back. I think of the time that, the thing that started us in the aviation business, we got the Beach Distributorship in 1956. We were based in Omaha. That was a major milestone. We broke into service, as I've talked about before. That was a milestone.
The Learjet relationship.
Getting
you know.
the
Absolutely.
Learjet distributorship. That was my dad's vision. He heard about this thing and went down and met Bill Lear and got us into the jet business. Then getting the Falcon authorization was a major deal. That really got us into the larger corporate aircraft for repair facilities, authorized repair facilities. There's just been a lot of things like that made a big difference.
Yeah, good stories, you know.
Well, it's really a rich history.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
A lot. People have asked me, how did you plan all this out? It was never planned. It was just it just happened. And again, taking advantage of these opportunities at the right time. And there were failures too. We got into the engine overhaul business in a big way, and that was in
Knoxville.
30 years ago in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we partnered with Kimberly-Clark Aviation, KC Aviation. And the guy there that I trusted and known all these years then got fired. And Kimberly-Clark didn't want to continue with it, so we had to shut it down. That was one of the first things Aaron did, and it cost us, I don't know, $7-8 million, which at that time was
Everything.
everything
Everything.
to shut it down.
Yeah.
But it was the right decision. And again, Aaron said, we got to do this. We did it and survived. So it's not all positives.
Not all daffodils and daydreams,
No.
huh?
Not even close. No.
But we learn. We've learned from
Learn from
things,
those
and we've got
mistakes.
so many people to help us
Yeah.
learn and grow.
Yeah.
We do it together. I think that's where, Harrison and I are so fortunate now too, is we aren't just learning from one individual. It's easier for us almost because we have 3,000 people, almost over 3,000 people that we are consistently learning from every single day. And it's made our jobs easier. I think it's made this transition easier too. I know we've obviously talked about, going from generation 3 to generation 4 to generation 5, and those transitions are easier when you have people behind you, and especially when you have 3,000 people behind you and 12. It's different.